Oh no, I was way too late. Sorry. Oh man, that's gonna make for a heck of an intro to the podcast. But welcome to the Horseshoe Pride podcast, where apparently I don't know how to work, electronics and technology. My bad, y'all. I don't even know what episode this is. This tells you like how long it's probably been since we had a
It's
podcast
like
episode.
4 or 5 or something like that.
Something like that. But welcome to the podcast, where it's your favorite horseshoe crew. We've got Chris. Boom. Justin's actually here for once. He decided he'd like us today.
Yes, sir.
And then Chip is here, and we are waiting on Kev, who will probably pop in momentarily. But Chris, go for it. Take it away.
Yeah. So I mean, first up, we gotta celebrate the wins. Shout out to Meg and Kev getting credentialed, going out there doing their thing, man. Shout out to y'all for that for sure. How's it feel, Meg, being credentialed and covering these games and stuff?
I
Super,
appreciate
super
that.
tough.
Yeah, I think it's almost surreal. Like I haven't really processed it yet, if that makes sense. Like I know it happened, and I know I went, and I was there, and I was interviewing people and things like that. But it didn't really to be honest with you, it didn't really set in until I posted a clip from the post game presser from the Dream game that I covered about Coach Wright. She had some passionate words about the WNBA's officiating, and yeah, my Twitter's been blowing up since then. So I think that was my first kind of like, oh, okay, cool, did a little something. So I'll take that. But I think otherwise it's just I'm happy to be in the space and happy to be have the opportunity to network with people, get in there and create relationships and things like that. Kev's not here yet, but I'm so proud of him. He's been
Yeah, for
grinding
sure.
for a long time. And I know he doesn't say it a whole lot, but I know he's very passionate about it. And he's built up his brand quite a bit. So super, super happy for him. That's my guy. So, I got to give him his props.
Yeah, happy for both of y'all, you and Kev, man. I wish he was here so we could, give him his props in
We'll have
person.
to
But
celebrate again when
when
he gets
he
here. So
yeah, when he pops up, we definitely gonna celebrate again. Oh man. Now off to Indianapolis Colts news. Uh
Justin's already shaking his head.
so so as we all know, it came down today about the suspension for Isaiah Rodgers and Rashad Berry. I don't want to forget him in all of this as well. But the biggest piece was Isaiah Rodgers, right?
Mhm.
Um, so I got a couple, pictures down here this time, so that way we can talk through some things. So all we know for now is that the key rules for NFL players when it comes to betting is don't bet on the NFL, don't gamble in your team facility, which also means if you're traveling so you're in the hotel, you're on the flight, you're on the bus, whatever. Don't have someone bet for you. Don't share team insider information. Don't go into sports books during the NFL season, and don't play daily fantasy football. So today, like I said, we got the news about Isaiah Rodgers, where it's official. He had an indefinite suspension. And not too long after that, the Colts released him. And this was Chris Ballard's I guess his quote after they released him. We have made the following roster moves as a consequence of determination that these players violated the league's gambling policy. The integrity of the game is the utmost importance. As an organization, we will continue to educate our players, coaches, and staff on the policies in place and significant consequences that may occur with these violations. Um, so it finally came down the pike. I think last time we talked about it was when we actually got the news that Isaiah Rodgers got in trouble for gambling or could potentially be getting in trouble for gambling. And then we also found out that he had bet on the Indianapolis Colts. And apparently, let me move this banner real quick because it is blocking some things. Apparently, he put $1,000 wager on the over under rushing yards for a Colts running back. Now, if he did it for JT, I'm pretty sure he took the over. If he did it for anybody else, he might have took the under on those. And I want to say it was probably for the Raiders game because JT ran for like 141 or 167, somewhere around there. So if he took the over, he definitely cashed out. Uh, So, how y'all feel about this news coming out that he is suspended indefinitely, and the Colts have went ahead and cut him from the
Let me
roster?
go first, y'all.
Go ahead,
Justin
Justin.
didn't even let you finish.
You ain't been here. You ain't been here in a while, so go ahead, bro.
So, first of all, man, you gotta be smarter than that. It's on the paper. Don't bet on the facility.
Oh,
Oh man.
Justin must have
he
got a
cut out.
call.
Oh,
Oh,
My bad.
he's back.
It's just simple shit, yo. I'm sorry, simple stuff. It boggles my mind, bro. And even if you want to bet on it, I know it say don't let nobody else bet for you, but don't give it to your cousin. Like, yo, bet this or something. Like, why would you even put your own name on there? Like, it's a dumb decision. I know it's probably like what you want to call it, like a spare the moment type of thing, but that cost him his contract. Damn near probably his career.
Nah, it wasn't spare the moment, bro. He got
100
like,
bets.
yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
100 moments.
This is an intentional sort of thing when you get
Hey,
to
listen,
that many.
He might have
bets.
did them all at one time.
He might, you know what?
He might have just been on FanDuel one day. It was like, I'm gonna put this in, I'm gonna put this in, and
My
just did
man.
100 different bets. You know,
We
spur of the
always
moment.
cup half full over here.
His contract wasn't enough. He had to find another way to make some money.
But then
Sir.
they say that it was for the 21 and 22 seasons though.
Just 22 season.
Just 22.
Okay.
Mhm, just 22. I mean, I said it earlier today that I was not shocked that the Colts came out and waived Isaiah Rodgers and Rashad Berry. Chris Ballard's very high on character. So when you bring the integrity of the game into question, yeah, this is a no-brainer for them. I think they were just waiting to see how this unfold and then move accordingly. It's interesting because I think it was in our AFC South group chat. RJ was like, oh, Jim Irsay is not playing. And I'm like, I don't even think this was a Jim Irsay, sort of decision. I think this was a Chris Ballard decision. He just took it to him, was like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And he's like, okay, just signed off on it. Again, if you know Chris Ballard, then you know that he has no tolerance for things like this. It's unfortunate because Isaiah Rodgers is a good guy, it's unfortunate because he had a really great opportunity to be a starter, long-term for the season. He's played great in spots. Oh, hello, Kev.
There's Kev.
There's Kev.
Sorry, guys.
But it's unfortunate because he had so much coming, towards his way this season, and it would have been great to see him, kind of shine. And I think it probably would have been great for you, Chris, because you wouldn't have to rant about Brandon Facyson anymore. And now we won't get that.
Hey.
You'll probably be ranting about somebody else, but
Hey,
I
but
still think that man was shaving points. I don't care what nobody.
I do too. I'm waiting for that news
my
to come
gosh.
out. I
Yeah.
am definitely waiting for that news to come out. One thing I want to say though, at least the Colts wasn't the only people that took a hit today in the AFC South. We got Jaguars news, we got Titans news. Oh man, it was lovely.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just got back off the bounce. Titans fans are on watch right now. They the thinnest offensive line just got thinner. All right.
Well, it's funny because RJ tried to downplay it in the group chat. He's like, oh, he's only going to miss 6 games. He wasn't really our starting right tackle anyways, blah, blah, blah.
He was the starter.
He was literally the starter. Like, what are we talking about?
He was the starter.
RJ, man. RJ, if you're watching, I don't like you, bro. It's not personal. I just don't like you.
He said it's not personal. I just don't like you.
Oh my gosh. But you know what I mean? Like it's one of those days where you're like, what is happening in the division? And I'm sure Texans fans are probably just sitting here watching the rest of the division, adjust to.
They said they was going to win the division now since everybody got suspended.
I mean, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about winning the division, but hey, crazier things have happened. So
right.
Pressing
So how
X
the
to die
rest
over
of
here.
you all feel about? Well, before we do that, Kev, listen, man, congrats.
yes,
Congrats on getting credentialed, man.
yes.
Oh, hey,
congrats,
thank you, guys.
Kev.
I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome, man.
him.
Congrats.
Justin said, I know him.
I'm
Oh,
excited. I can't wait to cover the USFL championship game on Saturday. It's exciting. Did we
that's
we
awesome.
already congratulate Meg as well? Because I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
we
we
got
did it at
okay,
the
good.
beginning of the
Yeah, it's
show. We
nice.
were
Heck
waiting for
yeah.
you to get here so that way we could congratulate you as well.
Us
I-
people that were here early did that already.
Thanks. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, listen, Justin
Just hey,
actually beat you here, which is
this used to be
shocking.
a Friday show, you guys. All right, you
My
guys
bad.
keep
My
encroaching on my
bad.
Thursdays.
Hey,
No, it's
listen,
okay. I want to be here. Don't worry.
I wouldn't have been able to do it tomorrow either, so it's
Oh,
it's
okay.
all
Well, I don't
good.
feel so
I mean,
bad.
we have sports after dark tomorrow. Shameless plug. We got sports after dark tomorrow. These Twitter streets be popping, so we gotta get up in there sometimes.
Are you doing AFC West tomorrow? Is that who it
Yeah,
is tomorrow?
AFC West
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay.
AFC West
Yeah,
tomorrow.
just prepare yourselves for all those Chiefs fans that are probably going to show up. So,
Facts.
Might
It's a
bring
Chiefs space.
popcorn
We
for that.
already know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a Chiefs space. They won the division 8 times in a row. You already know how that's gonna go.
yeah, it's going to be a lot of
But-
nasty work happening here.
But anyway, how the rest of y'all feel about the Isaiah Rodgers news? Everything that happened today. I don't think Rashad Berry is like a big. It's whatever with him, but Isaiah Rodgers was the big piece.
Um,
I think, in all honesty, it's unfortunate, bro. Because I think he had a bright future.
Yeah,
And we lost Gilmore. We got rid of
Facey
Faison still there? Yeah, we got rid of him. Kenny's still there, but we need more than just Kenny. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, we did get the rookies, but I can't say what they're going to do because they rookies. So
Yeah, I think it was a big hit that we took. No matter what anybody says, because we lose a starter. Basically, he was basically penciled in to be that starter because we know Kenny was going to basically cover that slot. So we know we still needed that veteran presence on the outside along with Juju, and for him to in hindsight, it's like damn. But at the time when he was doing it, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was thinking he wouldn't get caught. And, what's done in the dark comes to light. And hopefully he learns from this. Hopefully it's not his last time being in the NFL. Hopefully he gets another chance like Calvin Ridley. But as far as the Colts go, I mean, it's kind of like seeing a little brother lose an opportunity of a lifetime. It's like, damn, like he was really on the come up. Like I feel like our Colts fans was really pulling for him. I know especially we were, but sometimes those decisions you make come with dark consequences. So hopefully he takes this year and learns from it and gets himself together, and hopefully we can see him in the near future on another team.
Mhm.
Yeah, it kind of went both ends of the spectrum in such a short time because I think a lot of us were shocked. I will say maybe pleasantly surprised at a 1-year suspension. We kind of think we maybe sat on this program and said, oh, they're going to make an example out of him. This is going to be very bad. I personally felt that a year was not as bad as it could have been. But then, now you're without a team. So that 1 year turns into indefinite, right? Because there's no guarantee that at his position that he's going to get another opportunity next. So I agree with him. I really hope that he does get another opportunity. And I agree with anyone who's bummed out because there was an opportunity here. We all knew the opportunity was here and we were hoping that he would step up and fill it. And so, and again, it's, I maybe fan favor is a strong word, but I do feel like Rodgers is a guy that most Colts fans liked. And so that's where, when Boom mentioned it feels like a little brother, or someone you care about messing up an opportunity. This isn't just a number on the roster that is no longer there. This is somebody that Colts Horseshoe Nation has kind of gotten behind over the years. And so it's going to be a bummer to see, to see him have to pick up somewhere else. But yeah, I hope the lesson was learned. It's very unfortunate that it happened, but I also hope we see him play again.
And I think as correct as it is to say that there was a Chris Ballard move in terms of character, I also think it was inevitable from a practical perspective. And wasn't the suspension indefinite, but at least a season? So they didn't actually say it was a season. It could be longer.
Yes,
and once that suspension eclipsed the duration of his contract, I don't know any GM's going to keep somebody on their roster at that point. So probably really unfortunate for him, especially unfortunate that it happened in a contract year that nobody's going to keep you around in those circumstances. But hopefully he makes the most of the opportunity that he'll have afterward and keeps himself ready, and he can go out and fight for the spot again. Unfortunately, it's probably not much of a chance that it would end up being with the Colts.
Yeah, I hope he gets another chance, man. And I don't know exactly how it works when it comes to like a suspension. Like, because like you said, it was a contract year, but if we would have kept him on roster, would this year just not count as far as like, well, I know he wouldn't get paid or whatever, but like would this year count towards like, oh, after this year, he's a free agent? I don't really know how that works. I'm not 100% sure how that works. So,
I mean, technically he's a free agent now. I mean,
well, he's a free agent now. He just can't play.
Yeah, that's a good question, right? Like when players have retired, right? Like the Colts still have Andrew Luck's rights or whatever. So like maybe it works. I I don't know. That's a good question.
No, I mean, because they basically they cut him. They cut him.
I would have tried to trade him.
Yeah, they basically just
That's
did
what they did with Calvin Ridley.
Yeah,
I mean, but that's Calvin Ridley versus Isaiah Rodgers. Like, come on now,
seventh round pick. Something's.
I mean, maybe a seventh, but you also got to realize, like, it was probably easier to cut him because his salary was only $2.7 million, and you only got $36,000 in dead cap if you cut him now. So that, I mean, that's
now pennies. I don't even know if that goes into dead cap now.
It might not because of the suspension, but I'm just saying, if you were to before today, if you were to cut him outright, it would have been $36,000 in dead cap. That's nothing compared to some of the dead caps that people have had. So it was easily, a kind of a no-brainer decision. Okay, cool. You could cut him.
And I don't think suspensions extend contract, or because you look at shorter suspensions, 4 games, 6 games, 8 games, full season. Yeah. It doesn't change their contract.
It doesn't change anything.
That's true.
Yeah. So I want to ask the room, because we are thin at the cornerback position now. We always have been. We're even thinner now. Should we go get a vet, or should we just let the rookies rock?
It's going to be really, really ugly if you let these rookies go by themselves. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm just saying, just keep that in mind. Keep that in front of you. It's probably going to be really ugly with Kenny Moore.
But we expecting it to be ugly already, right?
Listen, I didn't say it wasn't going to be ugly. I'm just trying to explain the depth of the ugliness here. like on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably going to be like a 20 on a scale of ugly. And that's no shade to anybody, but it's Kenny Moore and a bunch of rookies. And maybe somebody surprises you. Maybe, you get Juju Brent playing well, maybe Darius Rush plays well, and, that sort of thing. But to put several rookies out there like that, and I don't think we have a pass rush that could, even though our pass rush has improved, I don't think the pass rush is at the level where it could hold off the amount of, pressure that they're going to face, right? Like, it can only hold up for so long. So I do think you need to go out and get somebody, but this is also Chris Ballard we're talking about. So I would not be shocked.
You still got Marcus Peters out there, Casey Hayward.
Listen,
Fabian Moreau.
I'm here for the Marcus Peters, Richard Sherman. Oh my gosh.
This is absolutely not. Like, I'm sorry.
That has to be a troll answer.
No, somebody has said this today too, and I'm not picking on anybody or anything, but somebody said this under one of my posts on my post today when I asked about it. Richard Sherman is way past his heyday. Like, he is way past that, and he hasn't played in 2 years now.
I was gonna say he's been on Amazon.
Yeah,
he's been at the desk for 2 years. He's got the best clip I've seen in a year.
Yeah, he's 35 years old. I mean, I understand it's Gus Bradley's system. He's very familiar with it. He's not going to come in and start for us. I'd rather have the rookies start at this point in their career.
I'd like him on the sideline as a coach. Come to think of it,
yeah,
he might be
DB,
a good coach for that
assistant
room.
DB coach or something like that. I would love it. As a DB, I'm good. If this was like 4 years ago, I'm all for it, but not right now. No.
Well, there are several names that have been bandied about, but maybe Chris Ballard just keeps his $25 million cap space powder dry and goes shopping on cutdown day, because we're not that far away from the preseason.
That's true.
See what the rookies do during the preseason, and then go get a bargain player who gets cut on cutdown day.
Rather let the young guy play than pay for a vet. And then we're back here.
Josh Norman. Oh my gosh.
I have a new favorite here.
Josh Norman, we can't bring him back. He already got a highlight clip with Derrick Henry. And
that's a fact.
Need no more of those.
And again, he is 35 years old. If we're gonna go for an old corner, just go get Casey Hayward. He's 33, 2 years younger, still is playing. Let's just go get him.
I mean, when you start
Marcus
naming
Peters
people that are like my age out there, all I can think about is my knees start popping now, my back pops, my elbow pops, and these players are in much better condition than I am, and I'm like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I was gonna say Josh Norman ain't played in years, but he did play last year for the Panthers. I didn't know that, so he did play,
but was he effective though? I don't.
But that's what I'm saying. I didn't know he played last year.
If we didn't hear about him, he must have did something.
He was signed mid-season.
He did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Wasn't he signed mid-season, something like that, something crazy like that?
I don't know. But let's move on. Let's move on to another set of young guys, right? Another set of young guys, some centerpieces to our offense, and Michael Pittman Jr. and Jonathan Taylor. We both know these are contract years for them, or not we both. We all know these are contract years for them. So they're due for their extensions. Who do you think signs first, or who would you give the money to first? And would you franchise tag one of them and sign the other, or how would you play this?
I think you can, if you're going to go about it, if you go do the sign first, franchise tag next. Let's look at the wide receiver and the running back pay scale. We all know that wide receiver pay scale is higher than that running back pay scale. So, with Michael Pittman, I think you can give him maybe a 4-year, $50 million type deal. Because, he's not, let's be real, anything north of 60, it's has he proven that? He's been our number one wide receiver, but that's kind of by default. And with JT, it gives you more time to get everything squared away with him, because we know he's going to be looking for that top 5 money, if not that top money, McCaffrey type money. So, we just got to really, I think we really need to just sign Pittman, get him out the way, and give us more time to get with JT. And if we got to franchise tag him, but it'll give us more time to get him signed, because I'm pretty sure he probably is not going to sign the franchise tender right then and there. He's not going to be in a hurry to sign it. So
it's going to be the same situation the Giants are in.
That contract.
Yeah, it's going to be the same situation the Giants are in right now with Saquon. Mm-hmm. Personally, I would rather pay JT before they pay Saquon, because I do think Saquon is going to end up getting a bag. And because I also think this might be Saquon's last contract, not because the tread is running low, but because I think Saquon wanted to retire early. He didn't want to be in the league, for a long career. So I think he's really looking for the bag. And I think if they give him the bag, we know JT is going to want money, because, let's face it, the career JT has had up to this point, besides last year, has been phenomenal. But I just say pay both of them. Just give both of them their money. Just
So
we got like 70 something million dollars in cap next year. Just give them their money. What's up, Chip?
the franchise tag is based on the top 5 salaries at
I want to say
position?
top 5, top 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it's top 5.
What I think I heard you saying, Boom, and I agree if this is what you're saying. JT is a top 5 running back, and Pittman, I don't think is top 5 number 1 wide receiver.
No, that's why
he is our number 1. But you're just looking at value for the contract. If you got to pick a franchise tag, you got to go with the legitimate top 5 in his position player. So
like Saquon and Josh Jacobs, their franchise tag for this year was $10 million. That's the franchise tag amount for the running backs. Next year it'll probably be like 11 million or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but that's what you're looking at.
That's what I was just looking at. It's 10 for running backs. It's 19.7 for wide receivers.
You sure you want to give Michael Pittman 19 million?
No, I want to give him. I want to give both of them their money. I want to give Pittman about 15. Give JT somewhere about like between 12 and 13 million.
I don't even know if I'd go. I don't know if I would go 15 on Pittman. Like I was about to say, 15 is high.
I would rather give Pittman 15 than to be, because we got to remember. I mean, we've all had this conversation. We don't think Pittman is a true number 1. We think he's a number 2 that's forced into the number 1 role. But we also have to remember Pittman has had so much turnover at the quarterback position, and he has still been able to produce. So imagine what he will do in 2 to 3 years if we get AR up to speed like we want him to be. Then he's going to be sitting there fighting for another contract, probably not holding out, not showing up for stuff. And then you have a whole issue right there. So I would rather give him somewhere 15, because honestly, 15 is not that much. If you go look at let me see.
That's a $60 million deal.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
I don't know if I would take 15.
15 puts him between what Odell is making right now. So it puts him with Cortland Sutton, Odell Beckham, and Hunter Renfrow.
Oh, all right. When you put it like that, all right.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you're winning me over. You're winning me over.
Yeah, it's like points were made. Points were made.
That's what I'm saying. So you looking at like top 20 receiver paid, like somewhere in there. That's what you're looking at.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's nothing crazy, because you got to remember Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, they're making 26 million plus. AJ Brown, 25 million. Stephon, 24 million.
Oof,
so that 15 million, that's what I'm saying, is right there.
That is so much money tied up in a wide receiver. Oh, yeah. Oh. I'm probably gonna jump in. I would actually pay both of them. And I've advocated for both of them to get paid. I think that there are some staple core pieces that you can't afford, not to pay. I think if they were going to tag someone, it's probably going to be JT, at the 10 million, then work for a deal after that. You could get away with, a franchise tag at 10 mil. Now, do I think JT is worth more than the 10 mil? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't want to have something astronomical number tied up in him, because the running back shelf life is not as long, and we know that.
How much you think he's asking for per year?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I would honestly say probably.
I'd probably 14
to 25.
22 to 25. What?
For JT?
For JT?
I'm pretty sure that's what the asking price.
What was CMC's number? Hold on.
I mean, you have to ask, right?
CMC's getting 16 million a year.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say, okay, so and then I was close then. If CMC is getting 16, then JT has to be at least asking for 14. I would think.
I think so. Well, actually, I think he's asking. I think he would be asking for more than that.
Obviously, yeah.
Because Alvin would be a good Alvin's at 15 million average.
Well, yeah,
Alvin Kamara. So I think JT's asking like maybe 15.5.
I would say you want to get close. Like obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that Chris Ballard is going to give him CMC money because hey, but I would say at least 14 at the minimum, and probably more comfortable with 15. I can't see 22 mil tied up in a running back unless like even the Titans wouldn't pay Derrick Henry 22.
The only
If he's
reason I
asking
say
for
that
22,
is
you can
because
go.
he's, huh?
I said if he's asking for 22 million, I'm gonna throw up the Tyreek Hill. You gotta go,
Match those
dog. You
deuces
gotta
with-
go, big dog.
with your own.
I mean, because let's be real. If he's asking, let's say, okay, is really 16, let's say even 17 million, is that really the hang up right now? Like, we got the money to do it.
I
Well,
mean,
that was going to be my
it's the
question.
hang up.
Where is the guaranteed money with the top running backs right now? Is it so much about the top line, or is it about the guaranteed money, which is a bigger risk with a position like a running back?
And that's why I was saying
to
the
be
25
honest,
mil a year, because I'm not saying 25 million guaranteed. I'm talking about just guaranteed plus the incentives. So let's say he gets like a 4-year deal, 5-year deal.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but here's the thing. Like, I would think that you're gonna want more guaranteed money because, right? Like, again, the running back shelf life is not that long, and we know that JT has already had an injury. I'm gonna put this in soft quotes, filled season, right? Still produced, but not quite to the level that we saw him in the season before. And I think that's also part of the hang up with Saquon. Saquon wants to be paid his value, but he also wants the guaranteed money. And now this is not the same position, but same thing with Lamar Jackson. He wanted his guarantees to be a certain echelon, right? Like, you want that. If I never play a down for you guys again, like, I need to make sure that I'm taken care of, sort of money.
So let me ask y'all this, because right now CMC, his fully guaranteed is 30 million. The next one is Derrick Henry at 25.5. If it's 4 years with fully guaranteed amount about 26 for 4 years, 4 years guaranteed 26 million. Is that an issue?
No, not.
Are we talking about per season or just throughout the whole duration?
No, just the duration. So like CMC's total guaranteed money out of his $64 million contract is $30 million. Derrick Henry out of his $50 million contract is $25.5 million. So they both getting about half of their money guaranteed. So let's say JT gets 26 million, that puts him at 52 million overall over like 3 to 4 years. Are we upset with that?
No,
that's 13 million a year with half of that guaranteed. That seems to be right in the ballpark.
That's what I said, around 13 million, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would be fine as long as you're not paying, 26 million for a running back. I think I'm fine.
Yeah, if he, like I said, he asking for anything over. If he asking 20 million, dog, you gotta go. Let's hit up that trade simulator, fire it up. Let's go get some picks, dog. Let's go get some picks. Evan Hole, you got it, dog. It's your spot. Let's see what you got.
We wish you the best in your future
season,
endeavors.
Right?
Yeah.
We thank Jonathan Taylor for his contributions to the organizam.
They gonna
we'll see you on Ring of Honor Day, bud.
Yeah.
Hey, I understand running backs don't fall off trees, but God damn, dog, you asking for a lot of bread. Money don't come.
Man, I'm not even gonna lie.
This is all pure speculation. We haven't heard anything about.
We haven't really heard anything.
No.
Yeah, because all he said is that he's leaving it up to his agents. He says he wants to be a Colt for life. So we do know that at least, like, he wants to be here or be in Indy. But it's just a matter of, we know he wants his money. Like, he's produced enough to get his money. He's produced enough to get paid. So yeah, it's all speculation though, for sure.
It would be interesting to see what happens here.
I hope they do pay him though.
Just better not ask for 20 million, big dog.
Yeah.
I don't want to say walk out the door, but
listen, I'm gonna start hitting him with the SpongeBob meme. All right, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah. Hey, we gotta go. My bad, JT, dog. We gotta go, dog. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Now, if he does if that is the holdup, how you guys feel about Dalvin Cook?
Nah, absolutely not.
I'm just,
Listen,
hey,
Man,
I'm
don't
just
even bring
asking.
that man name
I'm
up.
putting
yo.
it
What's
out
the
there.
price?
Putting it out
What's the price and how many games you gonna
Too
play?
much?
That's what I was just about to ask. Like, I mean, how many games? How many fumbles are you comfortable with? I just wanna get it all out there. So
If we go all in on only rookie corners, then yeah, let's add Dalvin, because at that point we're just hunting for a top 5 draft pick, and let's go get Marvin, and then we can let Michael Pittman walk too at that point. So yeah, let's.
Nah, I don't
oh
want to
my
let him
god,
walk.
Kev.
I'm just playing devil's advocate, okay?
I mean, but the thing is,
Hey,
where
listen,
Let's
if
let's
we're going to
reload
get
for
if we're
real.
going to get Dalvin and letting JT walk, we might as well go after DeAndre Hopkins too. Go get D Hop. and
I'm just saying, yeah, if we're at that point, we're drafting
nothing
high
makes
next year.
sense. Nothing makes sense in this
Nah.
scenario. I mean, I will also say
but
this:
I don't
where
want- I don't
are you
want
going to put
Dalvin,
Dalvin Cook though? Like, how many running backs are you going to have on your roster? Like, who are you cutting to pay Dalvin Cook?
Zach Moss.
Mo.
Did somebody say that?
I mean,
I got it. There's an echo in here.
How much is Mo contract?
Oh, it's cheap. Hold on, I can. I
Oh,
mean,
Ollie Cox.
It's only a couple
yeah,
million, isn't it?
it's very cheap. I think it's like 2 or 3. I'd probably have to look it up, but
well, I mean,
Um,
he just signed a nice size contract. I mean,
but
I
that
thought
was
it
in 21, right?
yeah, but I thought he was like $5 million.
Hold on, I'll tell you exactly.
Mo.
Mo, yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's like 5.
Oh, he could definitely go.
Well,
Well, we know. We definitely know
gosh.
that.
he's already on the chopping block, potential candidate anyways. He was on the trade block. So where is it? So yeah, okay. So his base salary is 4.8. He has a roster bonus of 510,000. So that's a total cap hit is 5.3.
Yeah.
And if you cut him, it's 2.3. We'll say maybe 2.4. Dead cap. That's it.
Hey,
I
listen,
mean,
cut
we can deal with
him.
that.
Cut him. That takes us up to 30 million, right? That takes us to 30 million in cap space. Go ahead and give Dalvin Cook half. Give DeAndre Hopkins the other half, and let's rock out.
Oh my god.
Hey.
But as much as y'all are trying to watch the world burn right now, I think it's premature to say that there's even a holdup. This is just normal contract negotiations, and I don't think there's any indication of any delay, holdup on either side. They're just working the process within the normal timeline, aren't they?
Oh yeah, for sure,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, we have the whole season. We have the rest of the off season, the whole season to get them contract extensions. So it's normal process stuff. It's just it hasn't really even been news on it, to be honest. Like besides JT saying he wants to be in a Colts uniform for the rest of his career.
Yep.
And Michael Pittman has literally said nothing
Yeah,
besides
he ain't said
his
not a
agent.
word.
He ain't said nothing. So yeah, no, it's all speculation. It's all let's make some jokes about it. All right, so with that, a lot with Chris Ballard and stuff. So we gotta go here, man. Is this a do or die season for Chris Ballard? Is this seat hot? Like, does he have to show that the product that he's put on the field is heading in the right direction? We know what Jim Irsay has said. After last season, we know what he said the year before it all chips in. But we know what he said after this past season, where everything just has to be going in the right direction. And we have to see that product on the field. Even if we go out there and we lose 17 games, you still have to see that the product is the team is heading in the right direction. Like it's heading to where it can actually be competitive. Huh?
I said, all 17? Jesus Christ.
But is Ballard on? Is his seat hot? Is his seat getting hot? Is this a do or die season for him? What does he need to do, or what does he need to prove in order to keep his job as GM?
He got hit on AR. To me,
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say start there. I would also say start with our beef with Ballard segment, because I feel like we have plenty of ammo from the last year of us ranting about Chris Ballard. Start there. Like, I'm sorry, Justin, I didn't mean to like steal your thunder. But I was gonna say, if you start with that end of season press conference, start there. That'll tell you whether or not he feels like his seat is warm. Because I think that's the most truthful he's been in his 6 seasons here. And I think he said it best, I failed. And this is how you end up with, Anthony Richardson at the helm, the new rookie quarterback and 12 draft picks, trying to retool this roster and get his life back together. So I think it's definitely sizzling at this point.
So I actually think that's the reason his seat is not hot in 2023. Because you can't evaluate a class like that on a near complete reboot of this offense in one season. So could it be hot? Yeah, the team's long-term success that we're going to find out, not this year, but in 2 or 3 years, will depend on how he did this year. And at that point, absolutely. But I think this year, you can't honestly evaluate sufficiently to say whether he hit or missed on the draft.
And that's what I kind of agree with, is that with this draft class, everything they did this draft class, especially now after, a thin position at corner gets even thinner, and now you're really probably rocking with a bunch of rookies out there. His future depends on their development. So maybe not this year, but maybe year 2, year 3, especially after you hire a brand new coach too, and Shane Steichen. It's probably his seat may be lukewarm, but I don't think he's on the hot seat yet. I think we have to see how this class develops, and if it develops wonderfully, Ballard might have bought himself 10 years. Like, to be honest,
I think he got two good years left. If everything crashes in 2 years, then yeah, he's gone. But
unless you see a catastrophic failure by either Steichen or Richardson,
yep,
those could be an issue. I don't see either of those happening, but otherwise, yeah, I think he's looking at a seat that's going to be hot in the future, but he's got a little reprieve right now. And we'll still have plenty of fodder for beef with Ballard in the 2023 season, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure of that. But yeah, I also think that it would have to be Richardson would have to somehow solidify himself as the bust of the century, in my opinion, for them to, I think of when did the Titans fire their GM? When the AJ Brown trade literally blew up in their face, and they said, all right, okay, I've had enough. So I think it would take something like, it would have to be, okay, wow, I'm not going to pull out any names.
Bust than Jamarcus Russell.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna pull out the name.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say, it would have to be something like that, just catastrophic. Otherwise, I think
Ryan Leaf.
The whole plan, right? Yeah, exactly. I think the whole plan is that they're banking on judging him in year 2, because I think everyone, at least from what I've heard, is year 1 will all be kind of like, oh, is this Richardson Steichen thing? Is this going to work? And then by year 2, it'll be like, okay, these are the guys. And if it's not working midway into year 2, then I do think at that point it'll be time. But I don't know. Some days I wonder how Ballard got himself here, but that's the beauty of this country, and the beauty of the Indianapolis Colts.
I'm going to ask this: if the Colts win less games than they did last season, let's say they only win 3 or they only win 2, is Ballard's seat hot then?
I think
no, because we get Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think it's some light.
There we go. Yeah,
it's some light.
We get Junior. We get Junior back to Indy, baby.
We would definitely need a top 2 pick to get Marvin Harrison Jr. We would need a top 2 pick. I don't see him sliding past pick number 2. I see Caleb Williams going 1 and him number 2.
I support only winning 2 games. Now, actually, I see Drake May going number 2, depending on who's picking, because I think it's going to be 2 QB needy teams at the top, and you're going to see Caleb Williams and Drake May go. But like I said, I wholeheartedly support going and winning 2 games and getting Marvin Harrison Jr. So
I'm
all
with you.
for that.
I'm with you. At least I'm not alone on the crazy train.
I'm
Let's
glad
go.
this is a recorded
I don't want that.
recorded situation. So
I don't
when
want that.
Hey,
we
listen,
come
I would
back
still
to
be
this,
mad when we lose. I would still be mad when we lose those 15 games. But there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, and that's going to be Marvin Harrison.
Chris is
Go.
going to be like he was last season, where he's like, "Oh, listen, I stopped caring midway." That's going to be Chris.
I'm gonna
He's
start
like, "Oh,
writing.
he's
Depends
fine."
on how they lose the games, though.
Like if we get blown out, every single
No.
game, something else like that. Like
No,
I'm
we have to
talking like
lose.
Vikings game, like catastrophic.
Well, that's just because Isaiah Rodgers bet the money line on that game.
Chris,
but
sir.
Hey man,
I'm joking, man. I'm joking. But I mean, it's right. It was right there. I had to take it. He went in
But I
there
think
at halftime and said, "Money line Vikings."
If the offense looks uninspired and boring and predictable and they're losing games, yeah. But if they're young guys out there, you can tell that they're putting something together. They're just the other team's better and out executing them. I think it's a different scenario. I think that's why we had a change at head coach. So
Like if we lose
they're
like we lost to the Eagles, I would be fine with that.
I mean, that would hurt, but you knew the Colts could have won like that game. So okay, all right.
Cowboys game was pretty bad.
Ooh, don't talk.
I
Let's not
honestly
talk
don't
about that
see
game.
us losing
Let's not talk about that
that
one,
many
Justin.
games. I don't see us just winning 2 games. Just based off of last season.
I don't either.
I
with-
mean,
with our
I
coaches.
just
No, trust me, I understand, but you got to think like we were in a lot of games after Jeff became the head coach. Even though he won his first game, we were still in a lot of games, and we didn't have a quarterback. Our offense was very predictable. I think they might have drew up the offense with an Etch-a-Sketch or something, and we were still in the games. Like, that's why I said I can see us winning more than possibly 7, just because
Yeah, I think
we have a new coach, and our offense is like adding Anthony Richardson has kind of injected some life in the offense, let alone the team, and bringing Shaq back. He's going to have that energy.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're probably going to have maybe a top 10 pick, at the least, but I feel like we might be out of that Marvin Harrison Jr.
Chris, what was the range of prediction on games one when we talked just after the draft? We talked about.
I think I said 6 to 9 games this season.
I think the consensus was it was more likely if it's outside of that range that it's on the low end of that range rather than going very much higher.
Yeah.
So I think we know what our expectations are for this team.
Yeah, for sure. And especially now, like with as young as we are, well, yeah, if Shaq is healthy, we do definitely win. Or if he was healthy last year, we definitely probably win 3 more games. Like we probably don't. If Shaq was healthy the whole Commanders game, we probably don't lose that game.
If our offensive line was
just-
better, we'll win 3-4 more games.
Oh, I mean, if he's
that
if
too.
he's creating the turnovers he created the year before, think about how.
I mean,
many
the
games go a
Commanders
different
game,
way.
first game back, he had an interception. Like,
Yeah,
Well, okay,
he could barely run.
Game 2 though.
he could barely run for sure.
We might have
but-
put more points on the board with him. He might have outscored our offense a couple of those games.
That's
if he was
very
out
likely.
there.
I mean, but
That's very
I just
true.
asked the question because again, like we all saw the hot mess express that was this offense last season, and I just wonder. I'm like, okay, with a brand new offense and so many new pieces, like could take time. And so I always like to ask those probing questions just because I want to see Chris tell us he doesn't care about anything. He just wants Marvin Harrison. But I also want to see Kev kind of explode midseason as well. So we just
It's going to happen either way.
just more
Marvin,
beef with Ballard segments.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is a killer on the field. I want to see that in Indy again.
I mean, I'm not going to be upset, if we get him, but how we get there would be my,
And for the people listening, I hope y'all got that reference.
Yes, I got it. That's
It's
why I
like
just
you
glazed
y'all,
right over it.
y'all. I know y'all got it. I hope the people listening got it.
Yeah, no. I just glazed right over that because I'm like, nope, not doing it.
What's funny though? What's funny, and I'm not going to go into details, but what's funny is that people outside of the Colts, especially people outside that don't live in Philly, I've had to explain to them what actually happened, or I've told them to go Google it because they didn't get the references. And I was like, just go Google the name in car wash. And they did, and they'd be like, what? Like, they would be so shocked.
Listen, people act like the internet wasn't a thing, for a while.
That's why we don't say his name.
I mean, that's a fair point. But my point being was, it could be very well possible that you don't win, you don't win those 4 games. But I'm not of that opinion. I think that you could at least win 6. You won 4 last year with a putrid offense. And I mean putrid offense that was bottom of the league. Matt Ryan's arm was cooked through most of it. And somehow or another, you still won 4 games. So I think if you have any resemblance of an offensive line and any resemblance of an offense, you could win 2 more games easily.
I don't really blame Matt Ryan that much. Matt Ryan was running for his life last year.
I mean, no, I don't. I don't blame Matt Ryan. Like,
yeah,
but he did have the longest run of the season.
Yes, man, Matty Wheels. But
Matty Vick.
But Chris had to talk me like down off the Matt Ryan like sympathizer train that I was on, because I was trying so hard to defend the man, but it just, after that Cowboys game, I had nothing left. There was nothing left for me to defend him on.
Hey, listen, after the season last year, he is officially liquid ice. He is unfrozen ice at this point.
Call him Matt Puddle.
I don't even know if he's a puddle. I don't even know if he's a puddle anymore. He might be evaporated puddle, like Matty Drizzle or something. I don't know.
He's up in the clouds now.
From Matty
Vapor.
The ice.
Matty Vapor.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
Matty Vapor. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I don't blame him for for all the woes last season. But to be fair, and I don't know if Gardner will be starting this year, but he might be a slight upgrade. It's just a slight. And I hate to say it because I didn't want Gardner Minshew on this team.
Oh, I love Uncle Rico.
But he will be a great backup.
If you notice how Kev says this with straight faces the whole time.
He can throw a football over them mountains, all right?
Oh, man.
No, but I think he's the perfect backup quarterback, right? He's got that kind of swagger.
Bridge backup quarterback, yeah.
He won't doubt himself for any second. When if he has to come into a game and play, he's going to believe that. And I think some of the skill guys will have a little faith in him too. I think he carries himself in a way that people want to play with him. So I do like him. I hope we see AR sooner than later, but I'm a big fan.
And him and AR are actually friends. Like, they're legit friends. They worked out together over the summer and stuff. But bonded a friendship. Bought
matching Crocs and stuff. That's cool,
so
what?
I made that up. Sorry.
I was about to say,
where's your sword? Where's your sword, kid?
Nah, they are real. They are like
my
real
source is at
friends,
NFL Rumors. Sorry.
I don't know if Minshew still has the stash, but like I just see him like strutting out onto the field like 60% of the time, works every time.
Yes.
Uncle Rico.
All right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so that moves us on to our overrated and underrated Colts.
Ooh.
Who do y'all got, man? I don't.
Overrated Colts? Oh, let me start. I got one. Overrated.
Cool.
Mo Alley Cox. Let's start there.
Hey, I think you got a consensus there, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't even think he's rated, but go ahead.
Justin. Yeah, let me start with Mo Alley Cox. Overrated. There's been a highly underwhelming production from Mo the last several seasons. And even when they put, a little bit of good faith money behind him because Jack Doyle had retired, still not getting the production out of him that you need. Jelani Woods was a rookie and outproduced him. Like, all right. start there. Another overrated dude, and this is not a slight to him, but it just kind of a matter of fact. Wow. All right. All right. So let me explain my Mo Alley Cox thoughts. Good Lord. All right, so you guys know I was big on Mo Alley Cox, right? Like I was very big on him. Felt like they should have utilized him more. Felt like he was criminally underutilized, just like Jelani was criminally underutilized. But Mo's not scaring nobody now. It's not scaring anyone. And the production doesn't match. So I mean, when it doesn't match, yeah, you got to kind of adjust your expectations. It's not me walking back. I mean, because hey, I was Mo Alley Cox, fan club, but but. I just
listen, when new information presents itself, you gotta.
I mean, I'm saying. And
new
by
evidence,
new evidence. By the way, that little commenter is my lovely husband. And his alias that he uses on YouTube. So you've been outed now, sir.
Okay.
So when your spouse is your biggest hater, that's him. That's definitely him. So. Underrated Colts. I'm actually gonna go. Alec Pierce is definitely on that list. And where I'm about to go on defensive side of the ball. Grover Stewart. Like, please put some respect on that man's name. Should have been All Pro.
Absolutely.
Or Pro Bowl selection. Excuse me. Last year. Absolutely. Insider trade, sir. Wait till I get done with this podcast. Again, why is my spouse my biggest hater, man? But yeah, Grover Stewart is another guy who I feel like is criminally underrated. I just absolutely love him and Buck in the middle there. Those are my folks. I think that's probably the folks. I'm gonna save some folks for y'all to name, but those are my.
If only we
over underrated
for us.
By whom? By the team, by the fans, by the league? Because I think you get different answers. If you talk about Grove, I don't think Grove is underrated in this circle, the team or fans at all. But outside of the Colts facility, absolutely, or in the media, absolutely.
I would probably say outside of like outside of us, like our team.
Okay.
Go like you said, the media, other fans that don't really watch the Colts as much, that say they see a name on TV, I'm like, oh, he's really good or whatever. You know how people do. So I would go somewhere with that, like overrated or underrated by the media. For me, overrated. I definitely got to agree with Meg. It is Mo Alley Cox. Underrated for me, I'm not gonna go with Grover Stewart just because Meg, went with Grover Stewart. I'm gonna go with Zaire Franklin. I think he really put himself out there last year, put himself on the map with the year that he had last season. But he wasn't a household name. So I do think that he had a really good season last year and he's vastly underrated. That's the one thing with our linebackers. Yeah, they start off on special teams besides like the guys like Shaq. But when they get their chance, man, they go out there and they do what they got to do and ball out. That's why I think EJ Speed might have a really good year this year. But I definitely got to go with Zaire Franklin as underrated. But yeah, overrated is definitely Mo Alley Cox. Most definitely trash. Send him up the river.
Not overrated. I would have to pick Kenny.
Ooh.
And Kenny. His contract year, he balled out. But last year I think he was average. Average.
I was going to say the same thing. Or suggested anyway.
I think my underrated. He hasn't played it down in the NFL yet. But I'm gonna say AR. I would say AR and probably Alec Pierce underrated.
Ooh, there he took mine.
AR I think a lot of people want him to fail. I think a lot of people pick him to fail. But I think he's going to show out.
A lot of those folks live around Nashville.
Yeah, RJ. But I think AR probably this year, next year, once he gets the playbook under his belt, once he get more reps, I things like that. I think he's going to show improve why he was picked where he was picked. But Alec Pierce, I think he has a breakout year this year. And when I say breakout, I don't mean he has like fucking 1,500 yards, 40 touchdowns, or something like that. I think he has probably like 8 to 10 touchdowns, probably close to 1,000. I think the offense this year is probably going to be a little bit more balanced than it was last year. With the addition of AR, can't forget about Josh Downs. I think he's a big acquisition in the trade. The draft. I'm sorry, but yeah, those are my players. But Mo Alley Cox is not rated in my opinion. So yeah.
I'll second that. Alec Pierce, underrated. I think for one, cannot wait to see what he can do when he's got someone who can throw a deep ball to him. Really look forward to that. If you go back and look at those college highlights and just look at some of the great deep ball plays that he's made, the way he goes and gets the ball in the air, I think Alec Pierce is going to elevate here. I don't know if it'll be this season or we might have to wait one more year just because of what we're working with at quarterback. But I do think we're going to get to see it in short bursts at the very least, because I think we're going to have a very run heavy offense, which is going to lead to some play actions where AR can just open one up and fling it down to Pierce. So, and you know what? Who am I to disagree about the overrated tight end? So, I'm just going to leave that one where it lies and hand the mic to somebody else.
All righty. I will.
There you go, boo.
No, because I had to make sure I had my ducks in a row when I say this, because I know it's probably ruffle some feathers, but I've been thinking about this for a little while. My overrated player, I will say, and I know he hasn't been in the league long enough, but I would say Kwity Paye.
Oh, okay.
The reason I say Kwity Paye is because we passed on defensive ends such as Gregory, is it Rousseau for the Bills, Joe Tryon from Tampa Bay, and a player that I did want us to pick, Odafe Oweh, who actually was drafted by Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I'm about to say he in Baltimore now.
I feel like all three of those players have presented something that we've needed at that defensive end position, which is apply pressure, and it seems like when they drafted Kwity, it was more of them using him as a run stopping defensive end. We need a pass rushing defensive end. Like, if you want to, you can use D-Buck as that run stopping defensive end, because he can play inside outside. And I just feel like Kwity just hasn't done what he needs to do as a top 20 pick, top 21 pick. The guys that were drafted after him have produced, have made an impact on their teams. And I just feel like this year should be the year that he steps up. And if he doesn't, to me, it's kind of a wash. It's kind of a wasted first round pick, because he just hasn't produced to me what he needed to do. My underrated player is definitely EJ Speed. I feel like he definitely stepped in last year and did his thing. He's definitely one of the players that I feel like that could get on the field and produce. He's basically went up every year. He's entered a different plateau. With more playing time that he's got, the more he's produced. When he was drafted, he came in as a tweener, outside linebacker, defensive end, former wide receiver. So, he has done his thing. And when he gets on that field, you can actually see that speed that he produces, So I feel like if he gets that playing time more and more this year, being out there with Shaq and Zaire, even though sometimes he'll probably get taken off the field for those three wide receiver packages, because Kenny has to come in. but when he's out there on the field, he definitely produces. So he's my underrated player.
I like that a lot. I like that. Go ahead, Chip.
All right. So I'm still not letting the offensive line off the hook. They woefully underperformed last year, so I look.
All of them.
I'll give Q a bit of a pass because it seemed like he was trying to play 3 positions at once to pick up the slack because he didn't have any help on either side of him at some points. But I will say we look at Kelly and look at Braden is potentially overrated, but guys who absolutely can come back from that because they've proven they can play better, but they need to show it. And for underrated, maybe this is more under the radar than underrated just because we don't talk about them. But I think our kicking duo is going to be sneaky good this year. You got Rigo and you got Matt Gay that are going to make a really solid special teams duo that we don't talk about at all.
Out of the box, Chip, my man.
I like it. Yeah, I was like, I wouldn't have picked those. Okay. I like it. All right. So those were our last topics. And I think we had a pretty good hour considering we haven't seen each other in a couple of weeks now. So I appreciate it. And if you were listening to the beginning of the podcast, please just skip like the first 15 seconds because I didn't know what I was doing clearly with technology. And we just kind of hopped right into it. So this has been the Horseshoe Pride podcast. You can listen wherever you get your podcasts, also on YouTube as well. Everyone, I guess, I don't know if we do outros on here. I don't know if we tell everyone where we can find us on the internet, but Boom, where can people find you? Oh, you're definitely on mute, Boom. Yep. Definitely on mute.
Yep, I did. I muted it. You can find me on Twitter, Boom_McGinty. You can find me on Facebook, Boom McGinty. You can even find me on LinkedIn, but I'm not Boom McGinty. I'm Steve McGinty. So if you get a job, I can get you a job.
Steve.
Yeah, that's where you can find me at.
Oh man, I always forget your first name is Steve. That cracks
Like I
me
just
up.
learned Spider-Man's secret identity.
I know, right? You're like, Steve. All right, Justin, where can the people find you?
I'm on Twitter, man. It's the good guy Jay. I'm on Facebook and Instagram too. It's the good guy Jay on all of them. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be on your social media streets, man.
Cool. All right, Chip, tell the people where they can find you.
If you know my name, you know how to find me and all the relevant social media. I'm not very original.
That is my favorite part every time.
That's the best. Yeah,
The
that's
best.
a great
The
tagline.
best.
You got it. Yeah, I got it made.
The best. Chris, tell the people where they can find you.
Y'all can find me on Twitter mostly at DropBallsPod. That's my Twitter handle. I got to get more active on Instagram, but if you want to follow me there, I got to look it up real quick because I just changed the name on Instagram.
Yeah, you really got to get more active, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I really did. I actually just changed the name on this. I don't remember what I changed.
He's like one of those 70-year-old folks who's like, you know what? I just found that Instagram the other day.
I know I have an
cool.
Instagram. Yeah.
But it's at dropped_balls_pod.
Oh
So
my
that's where y'all
gosh,
can find me
There
on
we
Twitter.
go.
And I might have to change. Well, because I had my Drop Balls Instagram and I deleted it and was just going to use my personal Instagram as all of that stuff. But so I changed the name. But since that Instagram is now deleted, I could probably change it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where y'all can find me at DropBallsPod. Very active on Twitter. Twitter's a fun place. It's not a real place, but it's a fun place. So you can definitely find me there.
All right, Kev, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at KevNevick_. And you can also find me on YouTube. Me and the gang over at Bite Size Sports, we are so close to having a daily live show. Right now, we're at about 5 nights out of the week. So whatever sport you like, if you want some insights on fantasy football, we got your back. So come see us there.
I love it. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram. It's at the Megan Hall. That's THE Megan MEGHAN. Don't forget the H. The Megan Hall. You can find me on hallaboutsports.com. Shameless plug. That is my brand as well. That's got all of our socials on there as well. I won't go through all those because you can find those on the website, but you'll find my podcast there as well. Kev is my lovely co-host. He puts up with me several times a week. And we do a little, little slight work over there on the Hall About Sports podcast, but feel free to look that up as well. All right. You've been listening to the Horseshoe Pride podcast. We will catch you next episode. Peace out.
Boom! We out here. Gallop, gallop, baby.
Boom.
Hey, yeah. More. Let's go.
I cannot. All right. On that note, we're going.